Okie dokie. Why is there no music today? What's happening? What's going on here? Let's figure this out. That's not good. I think I'm on the internet, but everything's kind of frozen. What's happening? Let's try that one more time. Gamer, hello, hello. Come in. My music is broken today, apparently. So we might have to listen to some tavern music. All right, that's pretty weird. How are you today? Undead King, hello, hello, welcome in. We will do that. See how that works. Looks like it's working. I just need to change. Just need to change YouTube so that it says Oglesby. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. How are you doing today? Go with that. I'm gonna draw some rugbies. We're gonna get things started here. It is Friday. It is the viewer suggestion again. Get poll set up. And if you've not suggested your characters, I still have the list to put them on, if you'd like. WJ, hello, hello. Got half imp, half goblin. Do you have a class for that? Rogue sorcerer, okay. Look a minute. What's going on here? Why can't I type? Man, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff happening today. I don't know what's going on. That's weird. Huh. Why is this? Oh, because the text is white. Okay, that's not helpful. Enku with a cloak wearing an umbrella? Yeah, we can add that. Alright, let's warm up with a rugby sketch. Start us off on the right foot today. Go a little more abstract today with rugby and see what happens. Hope everybody had a good week so far. If you haven't seen the new Galoma video, I highly suggest you go watch that. It's pretty good. Like, comment, share. You know, keep the channel up and on going. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers, which is amazing. We still have a few hundred to go, so we'll see how that happens. People seem to like the viewer suggestions, so I think doing it twice a week is probably good, but we're getting a lot of suggestions, so we might have to start figuring something else out. Currently playing a Verdant Genie Warlock, Artificer, Alchemist, multi-class. That's a lot of... Oh, Artificer, Alchemist. Okay, sorry. It's like, that's a lot of classes. Arcanoloth? I don't know what an Arcanoloth is. I don't know what a Verdant is. How's the Warlock Artificer play out? I assume pretty good. I don't know, my problem with the Artificer I've had is that just... I've only ever had... I've had somebody play the Steel Defender. And they were kind of like, I don't know, I want more spells. But they're used to playing like Sorcerers and Clerics. So I don't know if that was the detriment of the class. But the Steel Defender worked really well. I liked having that as a companion. What should we do with poor little Rugby here today? I'm really surprised we didn't get more Galoma this week. Usually when I do a new Why You Should Play video, a bunch of people suggest stuff for it, which is fun. Galoma is kind of one of those weird classes, though, or weird races that I don't suspect a lot of people know about. I just got the Rage of Elements book for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I might have to start doing some of the new stuff in there. Seems really fun. Steel Elementals. There's another plant, heritage you can take, but it's not because it's like an elemental subtype. You can basically be any race and then slap that on it, which is really cool. So you can be like an orc or a gnome that has tree bark or petals or other things like that. So I think that's kind of interesting. I like that. I like that kind of template system for heritages instead of just being stuck with one thing or the other. I think it's a lot smarter. Really lets you customize your character more. Let's do something like this. It's a pretty good little rugby. I'm pretty happy with this. Finished up a commission yesterday, so I am now back open for commissions. People are interested in that. I'll probably share that with Instagram next week. I like to give the people that commission them a few days so they can kind of share themselves and time with that. I'm liking the synergy between having a Warlock short rest spell slots and being able to prepare any Artificer spell daily makes the character very versatile. Interesting. I never thought about that. Do Warlocks get their 2 spell slots back? Or a short rest? My god, I've never played a warlock. I probably should. And if so, would you get... I guess you would have access to the ooh, that's interesting. Multiclassing is weird, especially in 5e. Okay, SDM. Hello, hello. Warlocks do regain their spells in short. That's interesting. It's dumb. Yeah, because I guess that's just spell slots, right? That seems... Ooh, now I'm starting... I now have more gripes for dipping Warlock. Except for the limited spell slots. That makes sense. How is that different than the Sorcerer? Because the Sorcerer has Sorcerer points that they can use to get spells back, right? Do they get their spell slots or their Sorcerer points back in a short rest? I'm not sure they do. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Warlock OP. Really, I think Warlock multi-class is OP, but that's fine. Look at this happy little rugby. Eleanor, hello, hello. How are you doing with KSTM? Did you do your Kickstarter today? Is that what I saw on Instagram? Started that off? Or are you still pre-promoting it? Tomorrow is the final of Grim. Nice. Outside Dark Steam story about death, family, and inheritance. Nice, nice, nice. That is exciting. I've been able to catch glimpses here and there. I've never been able to sit down and watch the whole episodes. Do that. Kickstarter is in pre-launch. I did make a post about it today. Nice. Okay. Cool, cool. You want me to give my character a level of Warlock 2 with his imp parents as his patron? Sorcerer familiar. I mean, most people do. There are only a handful of other things I see people multi-class. It's just too good not to sub Warlock. You might as well. Okay, yeah, thank you for putting the link in there. I might open that just to have it open for later. Oh, 21 hours. That's all right. I thought you said later today. Still, tomorrow. All right. Everyone go check out OKSDM's channel. Good stuff. System and genre agnostic system. That's not right. Dang it. I'm going to get it one of these days. It's system and genre, right? System and genre agnostic. What's the last S stand for? Oh no. But yes, mechanically and aesthetically, Warlocks are awesome. They are. Yeah, I really like it. Honestly, I think there's just an artifact of the short rest kind of being wishy-washy. And I think a lot of it's from like 4E having its heyday of everybody having different types of actions and stuff. Like in combat, per hour, per turn. And so I think 5e just didn't quite balance that right. Setting and genre agnostic system. Oh, setting. I said system, didn't I? System and system? Yep. Set. Okay. Kitsune Thaumaturge. That's a good one. Put that on the list. Oh, I'm sorry. Dominic said Ravathan the Lion Knight, a bugbear fighter in full plate. Dig it. I will put that on the list as well. Oh, we got a bunch. We got a bunch today. I'm gonna have to go fast. I'm gonna have to do like gesture drawings of these characters instead of these like the normal full shebang. Let's see how that goes. Okay, there's the rugby. How many so far? We have 30. We have 30 right now. 28, I guess. 28. We go from there. For those of you who are new here, basically what we do is I take all of the suggestions throughout the week, put them on a list, and then we roll some dice, and we see which ones the dice gods deem that we draw. Yeah, I have a player in my game that's Kitsune Thaumaturge. Wow, nice. Yeah, the Thaumaturge is going to be really cool. And the kineticist is going to be awesome. I've only had, I think, 1 or 2 people play. Well, I think it's the same person played both. So I'm excited to see how they play out. Get dice. 16 is the first one. A very angular yet bulky Warforged brawler dude. Spikes for punching. Big and scary. That's a good one. I do like drawing me some robots, so this would be a good place to start, I hope. Did the music stop? I feel like the music stopped. It might just be really quiet. Turn that down a little bit. There we go. I don't know what happened to Pretzel. Pretzel Rock is what I usually use for music, and it just won't open today. So I assume it's something to do with all the updates I did. I'll probably have to restart my computer a little later. Oh, oh, we're still using red, so that worked out. How many people have voted so far? 14 votes. That's pretty good. Let's end the poll. We'll get a new poll set up here. Alright, and then we're going to draw some red bulky Warforged. Here we go. I want to get a lot better at just defining shapes before I start drawing these characters. I've kind of fallen away from that because I've been doing more portraits. I guess I could be doing that for portraits too, though. I could really be defining the head shape a little better. Try to keep things as loose as possible and then go from there. The Thaumaturge. How are people liking the Thaumaturge? I just got my copy of Rage of Elements, which I'm excited for. There's some cool, fun, like new deities and stuff that they're adding in. I'm excited to play with them. What was her name? Dazzle Gem? Dazzle Garnet? Something like that. Like if you were a brawler Warforged, you'd want your face to be just like as sharp as possible. Or do you want it to be as smooth as possible so it doesn't catch? Interesting. Is your face a weapon or a shield? That's the real question. Shield face. Started looking back at some of the old drawings we did past weeks from the OKSDM picked out There's some really good ones. And I want to kind of redraw some of them just to clean them up. I think I might include some of that in the coloring book. I've been trying to work on a coloring book recently, and a few pages, but nothing definitive. I've had a few people suggest doing like a like Eichmann on Twitch is doing cards. Maybe that would be more fun than a coloring book per se, just like small character cards that can be colored. I don't know. I don't know if I need to make something novel or if I just need to make something that people like. Something that I know people like, you know. Could always do another run of sweatshirts. That could be fun. What would we put on a sweatshirt? My face is registered as a deadly weapon. Exactly. Nobody wants to punch teeth. Like that's just not. It's not good. Nobody wants that. Like I said, I'm going to try to do these quick, but I want to spend maybe 15 minutes on each. 10, 15 minutes. Still might not be reasonable, but we'll find out. Armor made of teeth, yeah. I still haven't done the why I should play tooth fairies. They're terrifying. I don't know if tooth fairies do the tooth damage thing in 5e. It might just be a Pathfinder thing. I'm pretty sure ripping out a tooth is con damage or something. Strength damage? One of the two. He's got shoulder pads on his deltoids? No, that's not right. What's your shoulder muscles called? Got pecs. Got obliques. Maybe they're obliques, or maybe that's down here. I don't remember. Bonjour from the sick bay. Hope everyone's well. Yeah. Speaking of bonjour, I think this is yours. I hope you're feeling all right, or at least getting better. Tooth fairies are a playable race. How cool! They could be. Everything's a playable race. You just gotta want it hard enough. I suppose the Tooth Fairy kind of falls under the fairy video. Like, play a pixie, get the ability to rip out people's teeth, be made out of bone. The Bone Fairy is the really scary one. That's the one you gotta look out for. That's the Spiky Warforged? It is. It is the Spiky Warforged. He's gonna be real sharp. He's gonna be real sharp. Spiked armor is another thing I think we need to get more of. Spiked armor, spiked shoulder pads. Maybe grapple armor. Something that like... Because they used to make greased armor as an enchantment. I don't know if that's still around. It made you harder to grapple. Oh, I want to grapple somebody and just hug them. Hug them to death. Warforged becoming one of your favorite races. That's great. Yeah, I really like Warforged. Also, a lot of my not nerd friends are playing BG3. And they're all coming to ask me about Knoll lore. I haven't gotten to the Knolls yet in that game. I think I'm still in like the first chapter. I've not been playing it hardly at all. Knolls are terrifying though. Go. Send them to my video. Share that. Share the Knoll video with them. Then maybe make them play D&D. No spoilers, but it's fun. It's gory. Oh boy. Yeah, Knolls are dark. To say the least. You're brutal until you die, and then you get turned into a... was it a Knoll fiend? That's not right. Blight? No blight? That's not right either. Shoot. Can't remember. Wither. I want to get better at drawing abs, and I have not yet gotten to a point where I very much like what I've been doing with them. So we'll keep working on that. Maybe we'll draw more abs today. That might be the goal. Tiny fairy armor covered in fish hooks. That's all I'm going to say. I hate it and kind of love it at the same time. John, hello. I like the aged parchment background. You should use it more from now on. I like to use it, and the downside to it is then when I save out the images, they have that. And if I want to do like a replay or something of the video, it just looks a little weird. So I usually don't use it when I'm doing art. But for this purpose, I think it works pretty well. So I might start doing it. It helps my eyes not burn out as much, I think. So it could also be fun to have people submit backgrounds to use. That would be fun. Also, Rook, any excuse not to draw eyes. Yeah. Masks are the best. Masks are the best. Andy, hello. Everyone, hello. I did not get the notification on the laptop, and only just saw it on my phone. Well, welcome in. Glad you made it. I want to make a flesh warforged with teeth for armor now. I mean, you could, yeah. Just check out the... you can either use a warforged straight up, or you could look at the flesh golems, or you could look at the necrocrafts. The necrocraft is a really fun one. I think it's a good base for creating characters. But it's a hoot. It is a hoot. All right, I think we're gonna go a little vagity on these. Give him some more weird spikes over here. Just like giant bone spurs. Maybe some dragoon elbow pads. I like the idea that dragoons in Final Fantasy are just covered in spikes so that the dragons won't swallow them. I mean, like that's the point of most spikes, but like dragoons are real spiky, like real spiky. I like it a lot. I think we're gonna call that one there, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. It's a little more shaped in there. Aren't there like 5 Warforged suggestions this week, or was that last week? I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of Warforged all the time. There's one I really want to do. It's number 9. If I roll a 9, I'll be really excited, but I'll see what happens. Because if I roll an 8, then it won't be a 9 anymore. It'll be 8. But I don't want to tell people what it is. Spoilers. I'll tell you if we draw it, though. I just saw a video by Kobolds concerning the new path of the Giants for 5e Barbarians. Looks really cool. It'll be sending you the art request when I create a character using it. Nice. Yeah, sounds good. All robots all the time. Yeah. Really like the yellow paper background. I think it fits your art style, like the manuscript adventure. Yeah, I think it does really help, especially with like because I'm doing a lot more ink and pencil drawing styled than I am, painting. I think it adds a lot. I just tend not to do it when I stream because, like, if I did it for the, what I could do is I could do everything white and then just put a fake background on it for my videos. That could be interesting. I'll have to think about it more. Let's roll some dice. Right, welcome in. Corvus, welcome as well. Oh, no, that's Cerberus. Welcome, Cerberus. Corvus, if you're listening, welcome. I don't know. Let's roll some dice. Here we go. 11. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Hope everybody had a good week. A human totem barbarian, buff shaman aesthetic, but his spirit animals are ethereal dinos. Ooh, interesting. Drawn Turok. Here we go. Ghost Turok. Orange. Orange for the color we've chosen. All right, let's see if we can get it. Ooh, will orange show up on this? Ooh. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Maybe we'll go a little darker. Go a little darker. That's more of a brown. We go higher saturation, but more red. That is almost illegible. We'll try like right there. We'll do that. The sound sounds like you're talking through a tunnel. Uh-oh. Is my audio bad? Is that better? Test. Test. It looks like it's a little quiet. How about that? Test that for a little bit. Talkity talk. That is weird. Sounds a little strange today. It's only in Discord. YouTube sounds good. Okay. Well, we'll try that. Sorry about bumping the mic there. All right. Let's end this hole. We'll start a new one. Elven hair. Yes. All robots all the time. I forgot what we were doing already. Dinosaur shaman thing. I want to listen to Panzermetal. All of a sudden, looks all the Warforged. Is that a band? I assume it's a band. Okay. What would make a totem barbarian? Dinosaur totem barbarian. It's a good visual for that. Maybe some feathers? Scales, perhaps? Thank you for checking this out, by the way, Brian. I appreciate that. If it is Discord, maybe I'll just reset Discord too. I think I saw a few bear races in your suggestion. It wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. There's a whole bunch of new weird elemental creatures like the fire otter. I think there was an earth bear in there. Maybe it was an air bear. I might draw some of those. I think I'm going to start making like monster manual shorts. Short content. And I'm not sure if it should be like how to play monsters, because that's kind of the whole why you should play shebang. Or if I should just do it as, here are the monster stats, here's a fun thing about them to use them, and here's some art. What would people prefer for that? Feedback is key. I'm gonna give him a skull. I'm gonna give him a dino skull. Fur, loincloth, fang necklace, bear chest, long hair. Long hair could be good. Which is better, Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder? It's a little subjective. And I'll tell you why. So D&D, especially 5e, I think is really good for introducing people to tabletop RPGs. But at the end of the day, I prefer playing Pathfinder. It's a little more complex. In the way that I like for customizing characters. So I think 3.5 is what Pathfinder was the base of. So like they all kind of started in D&D, but 3.5 like ran away from the developers, and Pathfinder kind of refocuses on it, I think. And now they're on 2nd edition Pathfinder, which is great. And so, yeah. Which is better? You got to be more specific. That's my opinion of it. 5e is good for introductions. Pathfinder is better once you kind of get the feel for things and know what you want to play. And the way I always run into it is I introduce people to 5e and they're like, man, I really want to do this. It's like, well, that's a thing you can do with Pathfinder, so we should probably switch to that campaign eventually. Bearfolk need more respect. Thank you, Elder. I need to redo the Bearfolk art. It's one of the more outdated ones. This dude has a huge neck. He's a long-necked dinosaur. Dinosaurs. I reread Jurassic Park the other day, and I always forget how much of a douche that Hammond is supposed to be. And they're just like, I remember people being really upset. They're like, you're not supposed to like Hammond. He's not supposed to be this lovable dude. Like, he's kind of a monster. It's like, yeah, I guess so. Most of the Pathfinder is from D&D 2e. Interesting. I don't know if I agree with that. It's 3.5 compatible. But if you're saying they like restructured it by going back to the 2E methodology, I could agree with that. I could agree with that. There are 2 comic book characters that come to mind with this drawing. Turok, yep, and Commandy? I don't know Commandy. The last boy on Earth. Interesting. Is that like a... I'll have to check that one out. I was going to say, is that like a Conan remake, but with a kid? But I don't know if Conan fought dinosaurs. I assume he did eventually. $3.5 plus 2E. Okay, I can see that, Bionic. Has anyone run a hardcore game, as in no resurrection mechanics and more survival obstacles like good berries and travel is more dangerous? I like running hardcore games. But like Pathfinder First Edition is really brutal to begin with, so like having the resurrection stuff like isn't a given. You definitely can lose characters really easy. So yeah, I like a little. I don't want to say I like realism in the game because it's a fantasy game, so like there's always weird fantasy stuff. But I very much like limiting the amount of resurrections you can have, and they have to be like storyline based. So I don't let my players just like, I'm gonna go buy a diamond. It's like, well, I don't know if you can find one. You know, it's gotta be important. It is really powerful for a cleric to be able to say, you know, okay, I can revive one of us, for sure. And at the same time, the game is balanced in a way that it takes into account you having the ability to revive people. So like things can get really, really dicey for your party if you play that way, which I like. Like instant kill spells and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, they can instant kill you, but you can just revive, so it's just burning your resources, you know. Old DC characters for Jack Kirby. Okay. One of my favorite in the 70s. Nice. I was looking for the book you were talking about the other day, and I forgot. I think I messaged replied to one of your comments about it. But if you have the name of that spell magic book, I will just write it down now. Because I couldn't find it. So only res via divine intervention or costly ritual. Okay, yeah, you can do that. Barefolk redrawing suggestion. Usually open the door. I'm voting for wizard, sorcerer, wand slinger. Oh, for redrawing the class. So you don't want me to redraw Barrington? You want me to just draw a new bear? I have drawn a lot of bear monks in my time. I have a card table somewhere with Barrington drawn on it. Give him a big old dirk. There's a weapon. I think it's called the Bone Razor in Pathfinder, that essentially, if you coup de grace somebody with them, it flays them. It's a necromancy weapon, so that you can just basically turn people into skeletons. But like, that's a fucked up knife. Barrington is a book classic, yeah. Book is Black and White Magic, the Theory and Practice. Okay, I'm gonna just copy that down right now. Copy on eBay. Sweet. $25. Oh, geez. Hardcover, $40. Paperback, $100. Now, hold on a minute. Used from 39. I will keep looking for this. Dispensing book. The 1975 hardback is the best version. Okay. Good knife for the kitchen, yeah. Let's make this a little more dramatic. Okay, I want to draw one dinosaur spirit, and then I think we'll call this one done. What should his dinosaur spirit be? I kind of like the idea that it's just more bones. Like the dinosaurs themselves don't actually. It's just the spirit of fossils. So long ago that even the bones don't exist. What's happening? What's happening? My pen is being weird. There we go. I've always wondered about necromancy for dinosaur bones because, like, a lot of the fossils are not they're not bone anymore. They're just, you know, the mineralized spaces where bones were, or are they bone? Like, can you extract any DNA from a bone? I don't think you can. And again, yeah, ooh, interesting. Does fossilization stop necromancy? That's my question. Lots of magic fluff that you can add to your RP games. Yeah. He discusses real-world magic beliefs, so if that bothers anyone, yeah, that's fair. I've read a few books on shamanism, which I highly recommend because they're great for self-internalizing, self-actualization, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that gets a little, I don't want to say hokey, but a lot of stuff that gets a little spiritual and religious, that it's just like, this isn't exactly what I'm looking for, but I wanted to see how these people think, so it's kind of good. It's hard to separate those two things, so you have to kind of be aware and open for it if you're looking down those routes. Something very strange is happening. I think my pen tip is like jacked up. I have a flat spot. I have a flat spot on my pen. Black Elk Speaks is a book everyone should read. I'll look that up too. $377. That one's much cheaper than the other one. All right, I think I'm done with this one. I want to put maybe some tattoos on him, but resurrection would not work on a fossil, as no organic material still exists. The organic decay away, leaving cavity was just a little bit mineral, making a casting. Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I thought. So I thought with that is like there have to be like mammoths in tar pits. That's different. Trapped in ice, I think that's different. So you could use those. Yeah. I've played necromancers in a few games and already dealt with this topic. Do you know the Muffin Man? I don't know the Muffin Man. He looks dope. Love the pose. Nice. Well, I'm glad you like it. All right. We're going to move on to the next one because we gotta keep chugging. Keep chugging along. 17. A feminine void corrupted lizard folk archer. I feel like we did this one. Maybe not. Not this week at least, so. Void corrupted archer. And we're doing Ruble? Ruble? That's good. It worked out for that then. Void corrupted lizard folk, huh? Changing the poll here. I love the new Soul Knife Redcap. She's a gang leader now. She's interested in ruling the Underdark. That sounds pretty awesome. You animate the earth elemental within the fossil rather than the spirit of the dead. That could be good. Could be a golem, yeah. Because I mean, the other thing you could do is like resurrect the ghost of it, and then that would possess the fossilized remains. I could see that. What's happening? Why isn't my brush working? Oh, because I'm on a hidden layer. Drawing lots of dinosaur things today. What would be a good lizard to use for a void creature? When people tell me to draw feminine, I just think very big hips. A Gila monster would be a great lizard folk. I think so. They're very smooth though. Like they don't have a lot of interesting like spines or anything. Just very smooth lizard shape. How are we going to void corrupt this? I don't know what that means. More eyes? We could add more eyes. Thinking of Kha'Zix and... Ooh, I know. We'll add some Little weird tendril antennas. Komodo dragon girl with some cake. Yep. So one would have to find the bones in a catacomb or crypts if they wanted an undead dino or dragon, etc. Yeah. Are there any dinosaur bones that exist? Like actual dinosaur bones that exist? I assume there have to be, but like, man, that was a long time ago. Or are they all fossils? Where does Void Corrupted come from? It comes from League of Legends, I believe. But with the new Pathfinder stuff, the Void is a new... Changed up the planes. The Void. Fist should be here with the bow. Something like that. What should we do for clothes here? Man, I want to go shoot my bow. Bows are fun. I haven't shot my bow in probably 5 years. Woolly? Woolly's good, especially for rangers. I don't know if there's any... If you're Void Corrupted, I'm just gonna look up some references. That's what I'm gonna do. The Void. Oh, there's some characters I don't know. What is a Belveth? Oh, she's creepy. I dig that. Maybe a turtle plate? Alligator hide. Alligator hide could be interesting. What kind of bow do you got? I have two as well. I love archery, but I don't have a lot of time to do it. Yeah, I have a recurve, and I'm trying to... I don't know if it has a brand or anything. I got it, geez, 20 years ago from a yard sale in Moscow, Idaho. Not Moscow, McCall. So, I think it's a... I want to say it's 45 pound. I think it's a 45 pound recurve. It might be higher than that now. I don't remember. I want to say 45. I had a little more land, because right now I don't. I have none. If I had some, I would go and like I would shoot that all the time in my backyard. It would be awesome. But the YouTube channel's got to be, you know, popping off before I can buy land. Get in there now. Go like and subscribe so Rook can buy parcels of land to do stuff on. I would love to have like an archery range and a gun range and like a pottery shop. Have some chickens. Raise some goats. Some alpaca. If the Patreon gets to be $2,000 a month, I can go buy some alpaca farm. Demeanor is the only way I sex a reptilian character, and I'd probably misgender the 50% of the time. To me, it's like trying to ID the gender of a beetle. Yeah. Oliver, no problem. Elliot. Plenary of that Idaho for certain? Yeah, I mean, like, I grew up in Idaho, and archery was something one of my uncles was really, really into, and I got to hang out with Deborah this summer, and became kind of a mini hobby for me. I'd love to make like some new bowstrings and stuff. Haven't done that in a long time. If I ever had the time and the space, I'd probably get pretty into it. I'd love to. Yeah, because when I got that, I was much younger, and 45 pounds is about as much as I could go. I bet I could do more now. It would be kind of fun to get a longbow or something. And yeah, the lizard folk gendering thing is kind of. We talked a little bit about that. Like, if you're doing an animal folk, they really shouldn't have. Really shouldn't have like any gender stuff the way we think of it. They could be big or thin or lithe or muscular or whatever, but like no boobas. But if you're doing a person folk that is a lizard like a dragonborn, I'm fine with boobas. But it's also fantasy, so I don't really care. There's some good forests and wetlands for sale in Northwest Ohio if you want to hunt turkeys or deer. Man, I would love that. Like, sub, and subscribe. Sign up for Saga's Kickstarter because Rook's going to see at least a few thousand. That would be great. I would put all that towards the fund. The homestead fund, the alpaca farm. But yeah, definitely go check out OKSDM stuff. I'll give you another plug for that for sure. It's a project I'm working on, I think. I think it's fair for me to say that. I would be happy to work on that project. And so, go check it out. I would love to get more of my stuff in books. A few of my pieces are in a handful of books, but I would always love to get more in there. I hate how lycanthropy is so untouched in 5e. There's a lot of nothing regarding how to play as a lycan, and when its exploration is either vague or doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's interesting, Willow. There's quite a bit that I can think of. Like, you have the yeah, in 5e, I guess you're right. We could definitely say that's true in 5e. You have the shifter race, which I think is kind of the shifter class in Pathfinder does a much better job. 3.5 has a lot more templates and stuff that I would say look at, and yeah, I'd go from there. Because 5e just doesn't do templates well, and so when they have something like a lycanthrope curse, they don't really expand upon it, as is their wont. Playing as a lichen. It's Saved. Okay, cool. Go check out the Kickstarter. There's some weird stuff with the Void people. I think part of it's just League of Legends general art style. They very much try to keep the polygonal aesthetic, I guess is a way to say it. And it makes for some really cool art. Everything feels very blocky and kind of hard-edged. I'm gonna have to phone in some of these hands so I don't spend too much time on them. Get some more spiky shoulder pads in here, and then we'll probably call this one good. Powerful spells like Remove Curse and Greater Restoration. It's hard to keep the curse, but it also makes PCs harder to kill if they have resistances like many Lycans have. Lycan throw shells. Fuck is the other fun thing to look at is what I'm doing. I'm running a werewolf campaign, so all of the players have been infected with it. One of them started with it, and so I'm like, yeah, a regular remove curse spell isn't going to work. It's just not going to work. So, and there's some ways you can go around that. Is one, if you want it to be part of the storyline, like give it a higher DC than normal. That's a big thing. Blacksmith shop, wand shop. Yes, I would absolutely. Buy land, raise alpaca, buy a lathe. These are all things I want to do and have no money. That's what money is for, you know, making fun projects and paying for things. So that would be fun. That would be like my dream state. For a long time it was like, oh, I want to draw. That would be my fun thing. And now I'm doing that. It's like, oh, now I want to have like a better wood shop and a better space to do that kind of stuff. So it's fun. It's fun how those things change. I still love drawing, so that's not going anywhere. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I'm doing this werewolf campaign. And essentially what I've done is that's the storyline is driven by them trying to cure this. One of them just cured hers, or I guess she kind of tempered it, so now she's in control of it by taking levels in blood. Is it Blood Hunter? There's the Blood Hunter sub job thing for lycanthropes is how we decided to like cool. So you kind of controlled it now. The other two, one of them is just still no idea how to fix it because they don't have the opportunity to do that. If you are running a campaign with a cleric, yeah, just don't do werewolf campaigns. Essentially, if you have hyper powerful clerics in your party, or you have to homebrew it so that the DC is really hard. I like letting people use like Remove Curse as a way to like stop it. So if they do shift because of the moon or something, you can use the spell to stop the rampage. But basically, anytime they go into werewolf mode, like you can't use it as a good thing unless your player, like if that's what you're going for. In which case, yeah, they still kind of go berserk and stuff. I make them roll for will saves and things. Remove Curse affects things like Bestow Curse, keys, and cursed items. Powerful magics like deific curses, okay. High magic and spells like True Polymer aren't effective. Yeah. I definitely make Remove Curse because it's like a level 3 spell. It really depends. If it's just like, oh, you're bit by a were-rat at level 2, yeah, eventually Remove Curse is going to save you from that. That's fine. But if you get bit by like a big bad werewolf, it's a problem. In this campaign that you're talking about, are they all werewolves or are they various of were creatures? So one of them is a druid, and we're just blending the were nature of it in the fact that they started out not wanting to have their druidic powers, and then they're slowly like coming into their druid powers through the storyline. But they're essentially a hex blood, and the hex blood is a werewolf curse, is what I was going with. The other one got bitten by were rats, and so one of them is a were rat, and the other one was, I just made her a werewolf because I knew she was going to go into the blood hunter line eventually. So it was like, you can turn in whatever you want because that's how your character's going to go. So yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Grandparents had a cabin in Utah's growing up. I missed the outdoors. Wild West vibes. Yeah, super fun. I would love to see a lich concept for every class, because currently wizards are the only class that are represented as undead overlord sort of creatures. Well, I mean, the whole lich idea is... why is there someone parked in front of my house right now? What's going on? The whole idea with liches is that you're basically foregoing your physical form for magic. You're becoming more and more arcane in nature so that you are less tied to a physical form, and you're staying immortal by tethering all of your essence to a physical object, which I think is your phylactery. So I don't know how a barbarian would do that, but there are some other options for being immortal. Like monks can have perfect body or ageless body, whatever it's called. There's a handful of other things like that. So I think the lich is just a very specific version of wizardry. So that's why it's like that. You want to be an undead barbarian, like, I don't know, find a curse, do a spell. I guess anybody could use a ritual spell to gain immortality that maybe is imperfect, but I think I'm done with this one. I don't know what else to do with this one. I want to make her more void corrupted, but I don't know how to do that per se. 3 eyes, I think, is pretty good. But maybe they need to be a little bigger? More on the side of the body? Take it back. I want to do something like this. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better than the 3 eyes. And then we'll just put eyes down her body. Make these a little more... cool. Pointy Hats has a series about just that, Willow. Nice. Yeah, check out Pointy Hat. Pointy Hat's good. I'm jealous. Their artwork is so clean and so simple. And their channel is huge compared to mine. It's like, how do they do this? How did they do this? So. Let's roll the next dice. 12. Plasmoid of Fathomless. Plasmoid. The Fathomless Warlock. Plasmoid's the name, I guess? She has tentacles and kelp growing from her body. Okay. Sure. What color? Purple. Still doing purple. All right, let's do it. These changes immediately made her a lot creepier. Yeah, I think so. If you want to play an incurable lycanthrope, play a Dhampir reskinned as a lycanthrope. Dhampirs can represent hunger-based monsters from vampires, ghouls, werewolves to energy vampires. Nice. That's a good way to do it, too. That's why I think the... same thing with... I think the Blood Hunter is a good alternative as well. Or like a Totem Barbarian. But you can definitely just reskin all of those to have werewolf types to them. And that's why I really like the Shifter as a class and not as a race. Because really, your race should be whatever you started as. Like, you should just, pick whatever. And then you basically take levels in controlling your lycanthropy. Otherwise, what you would do is you would just turn into the creature that you're at, whatever level that's at, that's it. Which is kind of meh. So, there are templates, though, like I said, from 3.5 that you can level those up with monster feats and things. But if you do that, you should basically lose control of your character. You can become a lich through a magical object, turning you undead, basically outsourcing the phylactery building for the ancients. Interesting. Okay, sorry. Someone trying to buy my house. Out of the blue, unsolicited. Very frustrating. All right, I'm going to make the elbows just way too long. We're going full on slime girl here. And as I do, putting a skull in there. You gotta have bones. If you want human structure, you gotta have bones. That's just all there is to it. It's hard to make that human shape without the bones. Okay, yeah, so you can become a lich through magical objects. That could be really fun. Yeah, I think that's the one I see pictures of all the time. So the thing about the lichdom, like specifically becoming a lich, the whole idea is that you're like I said, you're anchoring your soul and your essence and your magical powers to the physical realm. So you could have that like doing that accidentally or like being cursed with it, I think is that's a big oof. Like that would be like someone spending the price of a small country and then not using it themselves, setting up the whole process to become a lich and then oops, a barbarian got it. That could be really funny for a story arc. But alternatively, like something like the Axiom Knights, where it's just the soul is linked to like a set of armor. That could be a fun thing for a barbarian too. But then they wouldn't get any of the lich powers. They're just like constant undead, And then because they're linked, like with the Axiom Knights, if you kill them, they just basically respawn. Unless the armor is completely destroyed, they just kind of regain their physical presence after a few hours. That could be really fun. Okay, it's supposed to be full of seaweed. What could we do with seaweed? Maybe we should put a little fish in there? It's just like, oh no! What happened? Seaweed just kind of growing off the skull. She doesn't have bones. Well, she should. She should have bones. That's all I'm saying. Imagine if she did have bones. My campaign agrees to be playing recently. We have a changeling rogue that has 9 in constitution and 12 in dexterity, and the whole party hates them. I'm sorry to hear that. They hate them just because they have low health, or what makes people hate them? Slime bone girl is not cute. That's fair. Put some more like floating detritus in here. Maybe like a starfish. Starfish would be really funny. Let's have a starfish living on the skull. Blah. He has 12 HP maximum. That's interesting. She says a -1. 7 -1 on their constitution. I like Pathfinder's not rolling for HP thing. I initially was like, no! But now it's just like, yeah, I just want to take the... I'm just going to take the base. Because you used to have feats that allowed you to do that, but it feels like, why not just give everybody the hit points? Because your constitution actually starts adding up then, you know? If your constitution is the only thing that gives you more hit points. There's like nothing worse in Pathfinder or D&D than rolling a 1 on hit points. Yeah, I don't think, even with a -1, if you do, which I normally don't let people go negative for hit points. Like, depending on what, your rogue having a -1 in constitution, you basically can't roll a 1, I would always say. So every level you're getting at least 1 hit point. I think that's great. This looks like a water weird. That's a good point. I think that might be a good way to look at what this was. Yeah, I don't see why you'd have 12 hit point maximum. And that shouldn't really affect the play. Like, there's a lot of people that can be really weak in D&D, and it can be a lot of fun. Especially if they're a rogue, like they should not be. They should be able to get out of bad situations, you know. They're just gonna have to make their call. Unless the player's like, oh, I'm super weak, so I can't do anything. That's annoying. that's a bad call on the player's part. But once again, I don't see how they're trapped at 12 HP. Choose your own skeleton with the slime growing around a bunch of random objects and manipulate to walk like an Egyptian. Yeah. That was my thing. If you go watch the slime video, I talk about that a little bit of like, if you want to wear human armor, you need to have a bone structure or something, or you can use the armor as a structure, I guess. But then like, you don't really have good arms to wield weapons. You're just like, bleh. Just a suit of armor with goo in it. So, I'm gonna put another starfish over here. Ooh. All right, I think I'm done with this one. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, but he decided to be a head-first fighter. Oh, I thought you said he was a rogue. I'm actually requested that our DM revoke XP gain from him because he doesn't assist in combat after round 1. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I think there's a lot of ways around that. My big thing with, like, if a player makes a character that's not jiving with the party, then it's a conversation you need to have. But also, not everybody has to be like a high, unless you like specifically said, hey, you need to be the damage dealer, and then if they're not doing damage, it's like, okay, you're not playing the character we need. Would you be willing to switch, or does someone else want to switch because we need that damage, right? And at that point, like, you can have characters that aren't combat focused unless you're playing like a very combat heavy type of game, which is great. Like, I have both RP and arcade style games that I play with different people, so both of those are viable. But you really have to know that going in. So if they've made a really fun character that they like and have fun with, but is not good in combat, you can play around that. And the DM should know that. Should be going in saying, okay, this person basically isn't going to be in combat. So here's what I have to change. Oop, reroll too high. 12. 12. That's what I rolled last time. Nice. Handsome and extremely cocksure high elf ranger of golden skin and slitted eyes that believes draconic ancestry, that belial a draconic ancestry, with a crown of autumn leaves. This is a very specific. Asymmetrical braid. Possess a capable build with wide pecs. Now I don't know what I'm reading right now. Hold on a second. Okay, so there's way too much information here. We're doing a high elf ranger with draconic bloodline. Okay, and a crown. We'll do that. Green. Oh, that's my boy. I couldn't resist scrapping a lot. Yeah, no problem. Taking the advantage of your hit dice is better than smaller hit dice. For a d6, you have a 2 in 6 chance of beating the average. You have a 5 in 12 chance. Yeah. So Gaston is an elf? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sorry, Willow, to hear that. Like, it's never fun, but like I said, I would talk to them about it and make sure that the saying we have here on the channel is not all people are work for all games. Not all characters work for all games. They either, if you enjoy playing with the person, then great, ask them to change something up. Maybe everyone has to change something up. There have been many times where it's just like, I don't like my character, I'm gonna switch, and that's fine. Let's just do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are also times when it's just like, man, our playstyles do not jive. We should not be in the same game. And that's totally fine. No D&D is better than bad D&D. Bad D&D is really bad. Give him some sharp features here. Did the music stop? I feel like the music stopped. Weird. Wait, oh, jeez. I have a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. Different chats. Let me get back to where we're supposed to be. There we go. Okay. I'm very excited and curious to see how you draw. I thought the Golden Saints from the Shivering Isles expansion in Oblivion. Are they draconic? I've been very bad about this. I've discovered. I never played. I don't think I ever played Oblivion. Played Morrowind, I played Daggerfall, I played Arena. Didn't play Oblivion though. What does an asymmetrical braid mean? Just like, it's like a pigtail on one side? What that means? Slightly scaled elves. Yeah, okay. Campaign is combat heavy and we don't have a primary healer. The party consists of a barbarian, a paladin, a druid, a wizard, a rogue, and a fighter. Yeah, you guys should be fine then. And then if the player just isn't doing a lot of damage or anything, the DM just needs to be aware of that and keep the fighting scaled properly. So it really should fall down to an issue of whether or not you guys are enjoying the fighting or not. And if you're not, you need to talk to them about it. D&D is a collective storytelling device. So if one person is thrown off the jive, you gotta talk about it. Gotta communicate with each other. Okay, how can I make them more draconic? I want to do like little spikes. Maybe up the side. Maybe they have little horns. That could be interesting. I'm not a tiefling. What does Gaston's hair look like? Where do you have commission info? I released my description was much more fitting for that, and I'd love to go with it in the future. So if you go to the Discord, there's the commission artist tab. You can go there and look at the... I have all my prices and stuff listed there. And you can just message me on Discord if you do want to do a commission. Maybe a ridge that causes the hair to part. Yeah, I don't know. Get the wolf head in here. Every turn was more. I think we could do scales. Maybe a ridge that causes the hair. Yeah, there's always a lizard eye. Clear eyelids. Try that. Some little spines on the ear. Ooh, how about ears? Ears should be a little more jaggedy. Something wrong with this eye I keep drawing. It's just like, I don't know if it's too far away or too big. That's better. That's much better. Okay. The ear should probably be over here now too. It's a little too low. We need to get this braid back in. Come on, hello, hello. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Okay, I have a couple of D&D questions. A problem with trying to run a session or from just being a party member? I think people in the group are focused on succeeding, that it comes to the cost of good roleplay and character development. It ends up becoming a thing where even in one-shots, party members band together and do things that wouldn't make real sense for character alignment. Feel almost like they're playing it more as a game rather than playing as a character. Think about maybe adding saving throws for the character that break character. Yeah, I would not do that. I wouldn't do that at all. For example, when a Revenant character finds out someone else is at fault, instead of just redirecting the hate, I think of a charisma or wisdom saving throw. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, partially because you should never be taking away character agency from your players. If it is hyper important that your character is a specific way, like that, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. That's a specific type of gameplay. Like if you want to do really RP heavy games, that's fine, but everyone has to consent to that is the problem. So if the thing is that your players would rather play an arcadey game, that is that might just be that's what that party wants, and you need to talk to them about that. Same thing as we've just been saying. Like it's all about communication. So if it's that you don't think that character would do that, one, that's not really your call, even as a DM. And if you have a player that you think is one way and the player's playing it differently, you just need to take notes. You need to take notes and be like, okay, well, you're doing this. And if you think your character is good aligned, I have these things that basically go against that. And the world is going to enact according to that. So, they become infamous instead of being famous for being so good. I guess is one way to look at it. The other option you can do is, besides talking to them, I think you should talk to them, is basically play it different. It's if you're being thrown off as a DM by what they're doing, that's really what you need to talk about. Be like, oh, I really thought you guys were going to do this because I thought you guys were trying to be altruistic, but apparently that's not the game we're playing, and I need to change my tack, right? So not all players, not all games. Kevin the Necromancer wanted to be an evil necromancer. There was no way I was going to have him choose to be the hero in different situations. I had to write a campaign for him, and that's totally fine. I even did the same thing. Like I had him fight the same monsters and stuff for most of the game. I just had to direct them differently. You don't do things the same way as you do with a good aligned party. If the DM scales the combat encounters down, me and the paladin will destroy the opposition. If he scales them up, everyone will die. It's catch-22. No, so that is, no offense, that's bad DMing. If scaling up and scaling down combat doesn't always mean just using heavier and scarier monsters. It means adjusting combat for the situation. If you have a party with no healers, then you don't want to be hitting your players with things that are massive, just HP sinks. So like big AoE traps. You don't want to be hitting them with lots of spellcasters that can just knock out hit points. You want to be hitting them with things that are a lot more directed. So like, how are you directing the flow of characters in combat? Is there someone you need to focus on? Is there something that you need to maneuver around? Do you need to add mechanics of like cover, wall covering? I've had entire parties just destroyed by difficult terrain, right? So all of those things have to go into account. It can't just be a numbers game when you're deciding how to set up a thing. So if you have a team of 5 and you're doing so much damage that a game ends in 3 rounds, you need to add more people. You don't need to up the monsters. You need to add more monsters. And that's kind of the thing. Hey, Rook, my friend, how many times have you been asked to draw characters from other media here, like Star Wars, Warhammer, and others? Also, posture check. Thank you for the posture check. I say no fan art for that reason, because I've had a few people ask me to draw stuff like, just draw Batman. It's like, no. I want it to be themed a little bit. Warhammer all the time. Warhammer happens all the time. Cyberpunk a handful of times. I've been okay with doing cyberpunk stuff. I'm okay if it's game related, But I really want you to make a character. Like that's the big thing. I want a character. I want a class. I want a race. And so if you're just asking me for, Darth Vader all the time, that's not fun. It's not fun to keep drawing Darth Vader over and over again. Are we doing that right now? Yeah, the live stream's going right now. That's Gremlins. Yeah, Gremlins. Gremlins I've drawn a few times, haven't I? But Gremlins are also in D&D, so I think that's valid, right? And it's just fun to draw Gizmo, so that kind of happens. I think the Gizmo's design is a good Gremlin option, so they're not just tiny goblins. Critical respect for your artist, mostly because of the time, patience, and skill required. I haven't said enough, but I do really appreciate your work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do also appreciate D&D advice you've given me. My player's experience has improved because of it. Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Mismatched optimization levels can definitely cause that, Willow. Yeah, Elliot, I think that's a really good point, too. There's a lot of people I have talked to about, like, the problem with min-maxers. Like, there's nothing wrong with min-maxing if that's the game you're going into. The problem comes when one person is min-maxing and then the rest of the party is trying to RP. That's a bad matchup for a game, unless everybody's into that person being hyper-powerful. And I've definitely had campaigns like that, where one person is basically like the chosen one. They're just super powerful, super optimized, and everyone else knows that. And they're like, okay, we got this guy. We got to throw him in there and just support the hell out of him. And that can be really fun, too. So it's all about communicating with your party and trying to figure out what makes the party work, what doesn't make the party work, where's the conflict actually happening, and what can be done about it. And a lot of that just comes from talking to the party about it. I know that sounds stupid, but there are a lot of people that play D&D together that just don't talk to each other. Blech. I think I'm gonna have to call this one here. Communication is key, yeah. Yeah, no problem, Andy. I think I'm going to call that one there, though. Let's see if we can get a few more of these done today. I don't like that hand. Okay. Oh, I forgot the crown. That's what I forgot. I love drawing floating crowns, but I don't think that's right for this. Came for the ARP stage for the good advice. Yeah. What's poppin' elf with dead horse puppet? What's the problem? It's supposed to be a wolf's head on his shoulder. Wolf makes way more sense, yeah. I have a science fiction setting that's based in Chinese constellations and Chinese zodiacs with lots of inspiration from Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star is great. And some Shadowrunner style things. That's really cool. I'm gonna stand outside for a bit. Should be cooler. Staying on the stream though, listen to chill chat. Yeah. I'm afraid it's gonna get hot today. It's supposed to get pretty warm this weekend. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's supposed to hit 100. Oh, geez, it's supposed to hit 109. Blech. Barf. Barf, barf, barf. I keep forgetting about the drawing characters bit. Another thing, we're creating a character. Should I play the character more towards the stats or the character story, or should I allocate my character stats based on the background? I would do the latter there. Look, I have a rogue trained redemption paladin. Rogue turned redemption paladin. I should keep the regular stats I would normally do paladin, but based on the background of the character. I see what you're saying. So if you're starting as a rogue and then becoming a paladin, which stats do you choose? I would generally... I'm not a big fan of like hyper optimizing stats, but I'm also okay with lately I've just been taking standard arrays. Standard arrays seem to work pretty well for me, but I think it's really fun to have kind of a character that's bad at some things, so that can be a lot of fun too. So I would say if you're going for a rogue and you became a paladin, do you want to be a bad rogue or a bad paladin? Like, that's the thing, because you stopped being a rogue. Was that because you weren't good at it? Or I would maybe focus on having a really high dexterity and a really high constitution at the chagrin of like strength and constitution. What did I say? Constitution. Sorry. Charisma and dexterity. Because then you could have been a good rogue that then used those abilities to become a paladin, right? Oof, big oof. People on stream love your art again. Yeah, I was playing over the Lost Caravan RPG. Very cool. Would it be okay to submit a character for that setting? Elliot, yes. Yeah, I think so. I think that's fine. It just, the stipulations I really want, like I said, race and class, and unless it's, I don't want to have to dig or try to figure out what it is if you're not here. Does that make sense? So like, if you have this great, unique, homebrewed race that is essentially a Minotaur, just say Minotaur. Like that's the big trump thing that I need to look at. The trump card of it is like, does it fit in the D&D world vaguely? Go for it. Just so that I have a reference. I've had a few people try to do that with like, okay, I've got this homebrewed race and this homebrewed class, and it's just like, no, I can't do that. I can't just spend time trying to figure out what this is. Without having some reference for everyone else, because then other people can be like, what are you drawing? And it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. So if you can make it fit in a world where it would make sense to someone who plays D&D, perfect, go for it. But it doesn't have to be D&D necessarily. I hope that makes sense. There's a case for a dex-based paladin, rapiers and longbows would be your best friend. Yeah, Will, I think that's a good way to do it, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. It would be a rogue that became a paladin because he turned to lifestyle. Got the idea from Brantley Mulligan. RP flaws, start stat dumping. Oh, is greater than stat dumping. Yeah. In my opinion, if the character you're creating classes, then you should be good at it to start. Is changing classes, then they shouldn't be good at it to start. That's true too. I think it would be much more fun to be like have a rogue statted out, high dex, and then kind of be encumbered by the armor. Just like, I don't know how to wear this. I hate this. But becoming a paladin that doesn't wear full plate, I think is also an interesting character thing. Like someone that looks like a rogue but is a paladin. I like that a lot. All right, let's roll some dice. Let's roll some more dice. What is happening? Delete this row, please. Uh-oh. I think my computer's frozen. Hold on. If people can hear me, let me know. There we go. Things seem to be functional now. $22. Ravith the Lionheart, a bugbear fighter who wears full plate, who's trying to redeem the reputation of his species. Bugbear Paladin. I like it. What color are we doing? Red. I can hear you. Okay, cool. Speaking of dice, I got 7 more sets this week. Nice. I like to use point buy for stats because I usually like to optimize a character, but I don't play them with their 100% potential power for RP. There you go. Thank you again for drawing this. Later I'll have to look at joining the Discord server. Yeah, there's a link down below. I'd suggest joining the Discord for sure. I will be posting all of these pictures in the Discord after the stream. Some smites can be used at range. I like smite being used at range. I think a bow smite or like throwing a weapon to smite somebody is really cool. I always allow that. What I won't allow is if like your smite is a hammer and then you start pulling out like a crossbow. It's just like, come on, that's not your character. But I'll still let people do it, but I'll give them shit for it all the time. All right. What are the possible outcomes for a dice roll, and what are the time frames for submitting concept via YouTube for the platform? So basically what we do is every Monday I post a YouTube community post. People can submit their characters there. And then on Wednesdays and Fridays we draw. And if people submit and I take all those from the community post, put them on a spreadsheet. And then if people suggest them in the Discord, or not in the Discord, in the chat, I put that on the list during the show. So the dice themselves, I roll whatever I need to roll to get a, like right now I have 22, so I'm rolling a d20 and a d6. And if I roll a one higher than we have, so if I roll a 23, I'll do the first one. And if I roll anything higher than that, I just reroll. Is usually how it goes. Mine it says melee. Yeah. There are some rules for like a ranged, like a bow paladin. I know it exists. I think it might be Pathfinder, but usually the rules say melee. I think that's stupid. I think it's on purpose, but I think it's stupid. So I like it. Bugbear, armored paladin. Here we go. Five d20, sorry. Did you know that 10d10 is slightly better than 5d10? Oh, geez, Oliver. Dude. What's this possibly? I just picked up a set of aqua-colored shaped sharp-edged dice with real cherry blossoms in them. That's awesome. That's really cool. I really want to make my own dice. Like, not like a lot of people have been pouring dice. Resin dice are cheap and great and awesome. I really want to like handcraft my own dice, like with a sander, make some wooden ones and bone ones. That would be really cool. I'm very excited to hear the dice rolling. Love hearing it. Oh, I hope I've been rolling them on a rubber mat behind me. I can throw them on the glass desk if you want. I fundamentally disagree personally. A paladin stops being a paladin mechanically when they can smite at range and still be at max efficiency. That's just a ranger. Yeah, I think the paladin and the ranger should be closer than they are, in my opinion. A ranger is a champion of the local people, so I am okay with that. If you do that, you can't have a gun paladin. Gun paladins are funny. I really wish there was a gunslinger paladin. A variant. Have gun, will travel. Anyone? Paladin? Okay. We have the gunslinger class and a spell shot. There you go. Tried making maple d20s on a mini bandsaw. It was deceptively challenging. Yeah, I wouldn't use a bandsaw. That's terrifying. I hope you still have all your fingers. I would definitely just use a sander. I'd cut them into cubes and then sand them down like a... almost like you would with gemstones. You could do it that way too. I guess if you have like a stone... Was it lap? Is that what it's called? Where you sand down the facets of a gem. If you're not rolling in a cigar box, are you really roll? Man, I don't have any cigar boxes. I'm gonna make my own dice boxes one of these days. I have all the wood for it. I just haven't had time. And then line them with lead, line them with leather lined dice boxes. Is this banishment smite? You could do that too. Level 5 abjuration magic. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it needs to be based on your character. Like, if your character, I'm a cleric, or not a cleric, but a paladin, and I only want to use a bow, I would let you use your smite with it. because I think that's great. And you're losing out on a lot of stuff for not having like a sword. I definitely think those are fine. Holy rocket launcher, yeah. See, that's where it kind of falls apart, right? So you guys think you should make dice out of gemstones? Yeah, I got jump rope, a set of gemstone dice. I really love them. I would love that a lot. I wanted to get some ruby ones, but I don't want to spend the money for them, so I'll make them myself someday with some fake rubies, or not fake, but like artificially made. You can buy cheap ruby. That's all I'm getting at. Crit smiting at range seems like bringing a cannon to a knife fight. Overkill. Yeah. I get all mine from the thrift stores. Jewelry boxes are usually felted and very pretty. Yeah. I essentially want to make my own jewelry box. Paladin is coded as being an honorable knight that gets muddled the moment you want them to gun or crossbow. Well, I mean, that's all morality based. And I don't necessarily agree with that either. Once again, I'm of the mind that like the warlock and the paladin are actually really, really closely related anyhow, so I don't care. Like, I think if you're playing a paladin, properly, like in a way that is following the fundamentals of your character's creed, then you shouldn't be like shooting people in the back or anything to begin with. So, but having to be stuck with that archetype of like, no, you have to have a sword and just be like, I am the hand of blah blah. It's like, I don't care. That's too much. What's the Dark Tower, the gunslinger? I would say that guy's a paladin for sure. I do hate that the misconception gets spread that Ranger's Smite doesn't exist. I like the 2 range smites. All spells become bullets, including melee range. Canada's another term for literacy. There you go. If you want to run Sniper Paladin Raw, just use the Branding Smite. I mean, you can't use anything lower than 2nd level, but now you can rest easy with using level 1 spells. Sanctified with dynamite. There you go. Yeah, I think people are looking at. I think you're getting the smite kind of confused with. How do I say this? I've made a weird cat person. Hold on. When you need to draw a bugbear, just draw a Wolverine. That's how you do it. The paladin, if you're playing a paladin correctly, shouldn't be overpowered because you're only smiting things that you need to smite. And if that's the case, doesn't matter how you do it, inflict that sweet, sweet judgment. What have I done? Do I need to go more wolfy? Yes. Yes, I do. I did not realize that ranged smite would be such a hot button topic. If you're only being a ranged paladin just to min-max, like, get out of here. Stop it. Then I don't want to allow that. It's got to be flavorful. With 5e rules, a paladin can exemplify any alignment, not just lawful good. My most recent character is a chaotic neutral oath paladin of ancients and member of the Emerald Enclave. That's cool. I like that. Got the Dynamite Song reference. Love Powerwolf. They are my favorite band. Oh, interesting. Protecting our favorite room from the outsiders. Runaway urbanization of his own freedom. I like it. That's really cool. Sounds like in your world, all half-casters are the same class. Yeah, Warlock. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. This is who Rugby wants to be all the time. Did you see that bugbear with a giant courgette? It's fucking awesome. We're gonna give him Warcraft shoulder pads. Marine Paladin works really well if you focus on Dex and Wisdom, wear medium armor, and use your spell slots for spells, not must fights. Yeah. That could be fun. What's your favorite race class combo for D&D? I mean, I have a bunch of, like, fun ones. Like, I really like the Kenku. I really like elves and drow and stuff. But I always play human fighters. just human fighters and human clerics. I just keep doing it. Right now, I think my favorite is probably either the Kenrasu. Kenrasu has been one of my jams for a little bit in 2nd edition now. But I'm playing a Kenrasu. I think I'm playing a Kenrasu fighter. I am playing a Kenrasu fighter who uses only shields. He has no weapons, only shields, and he's really fun. Then this arm will be just a small shoulder pad. And this arm will be like really, really yoked out with some plate. And this one will just be chain. See, maybe that one won't have the guard. Clerics just have a wonderful rainbow of flavors. Yeah, they do. Clerics, Paladin, and Warlocks are the lucky classes. The DM justifies stripping of their core ability simply to disagree with the other role-playing choices. Yippee! Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the majesty of them. Especially with I think the alignment system is just stupid, and I think Pathfinder is getting rid of it now, which I think is great. And they're moving to the anathema system, where, and this would work for all characters. Like, any power you have is granted you by doing this specific thing, and if you do the things that you personally choose to do, then they work, and if you don't, then they don't. And I think that's a much better system for paladins and stuff, because I don't know. I think like Grey Jedi are really great. Like, being able to actively choose things that may be against what you believe, but for the right reasons are important. And yeah, not playing chaotic stupid and lawful stupid is not fun, and it makes the game worse. So I highly suggest you play characters in a way that is fun and enjoyable. And if your DM says no, then you guys either didn't talk about it beforehand or your DM's a dick. So you as a player basically shouldn't be doing things with your character that go against their creed. And if you do, and then your DM calls you out on it, you are in the wrong. Now, that being said, if the DM is saying that your character shouldn't be doing that because blah, 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 it's like, is that true? Like, you have to be really honest and you have to have a conversation about that. Because if it's not true, then you need to explain to your GM why. It's like, no, that's not my character. My character wouldn't do that. And that's why I'm playing it this way. It's like, cool. Or you can have a change of heart. You know, your character can say, you know, my character is going to make a hard decision and I'm going to do this, which is against what I normally think. But I think I need to do it. And then that's something that they write down and move forward with. In my opinion, paladins are generally supposed to be the hand of what god or order they are. Is the order to decide for the firearms, then that works. Yeah. Yeah, gun paladin's really funny. Really like it. Smite spells are still smites, not the class feature. Only based on paladin spell list, so ranger's only paladin kind of bad. Your only paladin is kind of bad. Yeah, Tibbers, like I said, I flavorfully would allow it because I don't care about raw. It's not necessarily true. I do care about the rules as they were intended, and I don't see a problem with smite paladins, but it's got to be flavorful. Got to be flavorful. I just generally hate min-maxing because it feels very boring to me. But some people love it, and I've played a lot of min-max games, and I've enjoyed them. So there are games for those who want Dudley do right, but they are few and far between. I just have to do them right. Just finished my session today of DIA. I don't know what DIA is. I'm bad with acronyms sometimes. Human Fighter is popular simply because it's vague, so almost any action hero apply. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I love them is because you can do all kinds of stuff with them. I've made Dragoons from Final Fantasy. I've made like Captain America. It's super fun. The shield builds work really well. They're highly customizable, so you can really focus on like getting good with specific feats or specific actions and not get tripped up by other stuff. I usually go like Eldritch Knight in 5e, so I get some of the cantrips that I want to use or things like that. Alright, I think I'm done with this bad boy. We could do some metal shading here. Try to get a little depth in there. Unoptimal builds can be fun as optimal builds. Yeah. Used for weapon attacks, not just melee attacks. Descent and damage. Playing a human archer. Arcane archer. Nice, that's awesome. I love arcane archers. I need to play one. I haven't played one in a long time. Cool. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like the character. So let's get a few more of these. It's a 120. I bet we can get 2 more in. 2 or 3, maybe? Maybe? Let's find out. We're at 22. This 13. Hat. Male, half orc, half oni, samurai barbarian. Half orc, half oni. I feel like if I draw one, it's gonna look like the other. I mean, like, if I lean into the oni side of it, it's just gonna look like an oni, and if I don't do enough oni, it's just gonna look like an orc. What is the differentiation between those two that I can draw from? These are the questions. Rune! Alright. End poll. Is that an armored bugbear? Yeah, it was Dr. Jekyll. If you're the only unoptimized character in a group, you'll definitely feel like dragging the party down. I disagree. I think if you built your character in a way that is fun for you, then it's fun. Like, and that's it. Tusk and a horn. Yeah, the horn might work. We could do that. Yeah, okay. Oh, I forgot what class it was. Barbarian samurai. Okay. Let's get a good pose here. Do something like this. Something like this. What were we talking about? Oh, unoptimized characters. Yeah, so right now in our campaign, Lars is playing a character that was a healer, and he's like, I want to be bad at healing. I'm like, mechanically bad at healing, or like your character is bad at healing? And he was struggling a little bit to try to figure that out, and that's kind of what you have to answer for yourself. Like, I'm going to be the face of the group, but I want to have really bad charisma. It's like, that's just trolling. Like, that's not unoptimized. That's just trolling. So, I think Lars figured that out. It's like, okay, you want to be mechanically okay, but your character can be bad at it. Like, that's fun. That's fun. So there's two different ways to look at it. This hand needs to be back here. This hand needs to be over here. There we go. Your first character was a tad too optimized. Yeah, Oliver, your first character is a little broken. He's really broken. Yep. Just rub dirt in it. Exactly, Elliot. That's kind of what he wanted to do, was just rub dirt and stuff. So, it's a pretty funny character. Exactly. That's really, I think, Bionic, the important thing is there. Not like making fun builds, but don't making characters that are bad to disrupt the game. Yeah, that's a troll character, and I'm not for that. I think that's not fair to the people you're playing with. And if you're building a character that's only fun to you, then that's not cool. Straight down and then up. And that's when you get into like D&D horror story areas. Which I'm not a big fan of. Tetsubo, huh? Oh, the mall. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm a big fan of the Odachi. I think it's great. What's the fundamental difference between optimized and homebrewed to hell? Optimized is just finding the most functional things you can within the scope of the book. And then homebrewing something to hell is just cheating. Which I've definitely done and seen both, so you gotta be careful. As a DM, would you go around getting a magic tattoo? How would you go around getting a magic tattoo? Would there be a tattoo parlor in the 1300s, or would you have to craft them with the help of spellcrafters to find them in chests? I don't understand the question. I think bad combat can be balanced by good RP. Yeah. I mean, what do you mean bad combat? Sorry, back on vacation. So I guess I missed that. Sorry about that. Got a request here. Oh, look at that. Put it on a list. We only have one more, so I'm not sure if we'll get it done today, but we will try. We could have them branded with scolding pieces of metal and infuse them with magic. Yeah, you could do that. I want to know as well. The Eldritch Claw tattoo is the one of the few magical items that improves the unarmed strikes. I must have for a guy that likes making boxers. Tattoo parlors and artists have existed since the Stone Age in real life. There you go. Ink or rune scars. Yeah, I think I don't see a problem with just, you know, either one tattoo parlor seems a little like, is it a magical tattoo parlor? Like, is that all they do? Because that seems real powerful if there's someone that can just, you know, do magical tattoos. In Pathfinder, that's the thing. Like, that's absolutely a thing. And tattooing is, like, you have as many slots for tattoo as there are armor pieces. So that's part of the game. So 5e is much more restrictive about tattoos. And by that, I mean they decided not to write anything about them for a long time. So I think it's all up to your setting. It's like, how common do you want magical tattoos to be? One of my characters is, I gave them the feats to do it because I thought that would be fun. And it is. I like it. So I think it's really just up to your DM. I generally just have it be something that someone is good at. Like, you either find somebody that can do them in a town, or your players have to figure out how to do them. There's also some things like you can find magic needles. In Pathfinder, I think it's in Pathfinder. Maybe it's a 5e spell. So when you press the needle into your skin, it gives you the tattoo. That's kind of cool. So that's more of a magical item than it's magically infusing your skin. That still counts as a tattoo, I guess, but it's not necessarily the same. I'm losing it. I'm losing it real hard. It is almost 2 o'clock. I'm a little burnt out. I'm not sure I'm doing this quite right. Let's maybe we don't need the whole body. I should have just done the helmet. Oh, let's do a helmet. Like a skull Oni mask. Make the tusks a little bigger. Use a smaller pen. 100% a ritual. That's fair too. Yeah, changing the body, like, I like that idea. Getting the tattoo as part of the ritual. I might start doing that. That could be fun. Yeah, no problem, Willow. Can't be that different from enchanting an item or creating a scroll. You just need different components. Yeah, exactly. I usually think like the base component for it is just enchanted ink. Like someone has to enchant it, or it's going to take the spell infusion as you impart it with them. And then from there, yeah, it's not, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal to give somebody a tattoo. Some of them are even like one-time use, which I think is kind of interesting. Like the tattoo burns away as you use it. How the hell do you draw? Whoop. I need to get some lunch. Let my voice recover. All right, we didn't get a definitive answer. If I start doing shorts about monsters, do we want like unique, fun ways to use them in combat, or do we want character quick why you should play videos? I've been warned that in my campaign, because I'm a squid man, the only squid man, a random chef is going to try to eat me. This is regarded as a monster. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if I've ever seen a mind flayer not be a monster. Can definitely, like, you can play however you want, right? Like, that's fine. But, like, if I was doing a mind flayer character, I would really want them to be kind of more horrific and monstrous. I'm just noodling at this point, and I'm not sure it's going anywhere. Bionic Bolt does not help me as an answer, because I have to spend my time focusing on one over the other. I mean, I kind of want to do both, but the problem is I don't know which one to focus on. If one of them flops, then I'll just stop doing that. You know? So I might just have to do both, I guess. Try each of them and see what happens. As characters, then? Okay. Syphilids aren't necessarily brain eaters. Yeah, I think that's pretty unique to the mind flayers. So if you're just playing a squid guy, like that's one thing, but like you definitely have you are definitely a mind flayer, right? Playing your character is one thing, but how the world interprets your character is another. I'm a big fan of people not liking minotaurs. Same thing with the undead. Just like if you play an undead character, expect people to just freak the fuck out all the time. Okay. I think I gotta call it there. My brain's just going to mush. It's a little early, but let's try one more. Let's try one more. I can do one more. Blah, blah. 8. A Harengon arcane archer fighter who uses twin hand crossbows. Dresses and acts like a cowboy. Cowboy hat for the ears. Also, animal people don't equal food all the time. I mean, yeah. It's terrifying, right? Per our rules from Wednesday, it's cannibalism if it's a humanoid. If it wasn't, why don't halflings eat everyone? I mean, they might. Oliver, we've talked about this before. Your character is not lawful good. You can keep your character can think they're lawful good. Your character is not lawful good. Does the pocket watch go to your belt? Where does the string go? Worn in the pockets of a shirt. Yeah, they're worn in the pockets, but like, where does the chain go? Goes to the breast pocket. So you clip it to, but then wouldn't you just have like a dangly bit? The pocket and the pocket watch chain string. I don't know if that's right. It features a belt clip. Yeah, okay. That doesn't seem right. The buttonhole? Okay. Yeah, okay. Yep, well, so there's a tie clip that it hangs from. Then where's the other part? That goes to the belt. I'm seeing like all kinds of different ways people are wearing them now, so maybe. Chain would be hung as a loop from the vest pocket to the shirt pocket. Okay. Modern pocket watches have a belt clip or a clip for a buttonhole. Got it. Ended in the fob, carried in the breast pocket. Okay. All right. Yeah, all right, Oliver, I'm not going to argue your character's alignment. It's not my place because I haven't been in your games. So some of the things you've described I remember being not very good or lawful, but not my place. Pew, pew, pew. We'll give them some chaps. Chaps are fun. Pocket watches aren't enough out of style that most people that wear them tend to have a personal style. That's fair. All right. I think that is where I'm going to call it, with the bunny. John Wick, but bunny. I've said it before, I've said it again. Don't worry about your alignment. It only matters to the DM and to the How the DM portrays your character to the world. So every time you try to convince me that your character is one way, it's just like, are you trying to convince me or yourself? Because I don't know. I still like the idea, like, if you're a character that's coming from a normally lawful evil or chaotic evil location, like if you're a drow from Enzo Baronzown, you were raised there, you might have a little trouble figuring out what moral compass you're supposed to be following. Wouldn't it make sense just to kill them? Then they won't bother us anymore. That person is harassing that guy. Let's just kill him. It'll be fine. Like, evil act done with best intentions. Totally fine way to play. All right, I'm good. I'm gonna call it here. I am exhausted. Thanks again for hanging out today, everybody. It was lots of good talking, lots of good art suggestions. We will put up a new post on Monday, so if your character did not get drawn, feel free to add that to the new one on Monday, and we'll go for next week. Kind of like alignment as a tag you can gain by your in-game behavior. Exactly, yeah. Like, morality should always be, or like your alignment should always be a baseline for my intent is to be this, and then the DM tracks it as the game goes by, and then you go from there. I've had a lot of fun with people like casting spells that let you view people's alignments, and as they look around the room, it's just like, yeah, that guy's definitely evil. And they're like, what? No, I'm not. It's like, yeah, you are. It's really fun. So, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. Did my Wolfman get drawn? I don't think so. I don't know if we drew a Wolfman. I don't believe we did. Other than that, yeah. You can F by alignment affecting spells. Yeah, because that's the other thing, is like a lot of people don't want to be certain alignments because then they can be smote and detected by things. So I think it's fun. But other than that, thanks again for hanging out today. Let's see if there's anybody around for a draw. Don't forget to check out OKSDM's Kickstarter tomorrow. If you haven't seen the new Galoma video, please go watch that. Like it, comment, share. Just putting a comment of nonsensical garbage on there helps out the channel a lot, because it makes the algorithm think that people want to watch it, which I hope they do. So keep doing that. Really, I think like 30% of my views come from my subscribers, which is pretty high. But that does mean that we need to get more people just out there watching it and sending it to other people. So that would help me a ton. We're on our way to 10K. I'm sure we'll do something fun. Maybe we'll do like a giveaway or something at 10K subscribers for arts or stickers or something. That'd be really cool. So check out the Patreon. Let's see if there's anybody around. Or we didn't get any super chats today, so I didn't have to draw an otter. That's too bad. We'll do it another time. Redirect. Let's see if there's anybody around. Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, that's it. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Stay cool. It's going to be a hot one. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We'll catch you next week. Bye, everybody.